This then comes down to, you know what to do, you know where you make your money, you've proven you can. Now it's about leveraging. It's about increasing size, whatever it is. We know that the traders we have will slowly start to retire. We need new traders. So part of the reason we show what we do is because we need new traders and we need them well trained. Our goal is not just to educate people and get paid to do that. Our goal is to generate more traders, because at the end of the day, they're the people that make you money. Right. How long does it take to become profitable? Please describe the journey. Good question. This is a dose of reality, which I imagine some people don't like the sound of. But if anyone tells you you can be massively profitable in a year, again, they're completely lying. If somebody tells you that you can do it in 6 months, again, not true. So how long does it take to become profitable? Let's be realistic. There are some anomalies. Some people get lucky. Some people happen to do very well early on. On average, this is what I would suggest your progression goes like. Year one, and so I'm talking from the moment you decide you want to be a trader. So let's say, right, year one is about learning. Trade sim, work out what you do. Year two, survival. That first year that you go live, the key part to that is survival. Typically, if you can cover your costs, maybe make a little bit of money, you should consider that a success. So this also helps with those who are thinking, well, should I go live? Should I quit my job and go live? This is the way to try and think about it. Year three is where you should become profitable. When I say profitable, I would suggest that you want to be able to comfortably match at least an average to good salary. If you're on a particularly high salary, don't assume you'll suddenly match that. But I'm thinking average to good salary after costs, maybe you can pull out, say, let's say 50,000. And then it comes down to growth. This then comes down to, you know what to do, you know where you make your money, you've proven you can. Now it's about leveraging. It's about increasing size. It's about growing from here. You've proven, if you see it as a business, you've proven your business works. Now you've got to actually make this really pay. This is then a case of increasing size. This is then a case of, realistically, I would say in year four, people's capacity, so third year of trading live, would be in the 100 to 500 grand mark. I think that's quite realistic. But that's the reality. I think that's quite realistic. And there's no point in me telling untruths and telling people all these other stories about possibilities and that. Let's be honest, that's what most average people, on average, what the performance is like. Right. Why do successful Axia traders share their edge? Right. Again, a little bit of dose of honesty. One, you can't share an edge. You can share what people do. You can share the way that they do it. But what you can't do is directly just share someone's edge. You can't take my edge, because my edge is more than just simply some trades that I take, some trades that we show. So start from the fact edge isn't shareable. If someone's edge is copyable, it's not really an edge, because as soon as one person can copy it, everyone copies it and it gets diminished. So it's not an edge. Two, the point of what we're doing is sharing process. And the reason that we do this is because we run a genuine prop firm. I'm not talking a funding trial prop firm. We run a genuine prop firm. We have traders who sit in an office, who pay money to fund their own accounts to come and trade there. Yes, we do fund people, but genuine prop firm works on the basis that you build up a number of successful traders. Prop firm makes their money by taking a percentage of what those traders make in exchange for significantly more leverage. So we hand over leverage, they hand over a profit percentage. Now, if you can get a trader to make £500,000 a year and you take 10% of that, that's a huge amount more than prop firms out there who essentially make money off people resetting funding trials. So the reason we share what we do is to show genuinely what trading is all about. This is the reality of trading. And the other part of it is, let's be honest, traders don't hang around forever. If you're a very successful trader, you will retire. You'll go and decide, you know what? You fancy living in a different country. You fancy opening a different business, whatever it is. We know that the traders we have will slowly start to retire. We need new traders. So part of the reason we show what we do is because we need new traders and we need them well trained. So if you've got new traders well trained, one, they contribute to the floor, they improve the traders that are already there, and by inference, improve themselves as well, because they're learning off people who are doing this every day very successfully. But you bring in new traders, this generates more profit for the prop firm. That's ultimately why we show what we do. Our goal is not just to educate people and get paid to do that. Our goal is to generate more traders, because at the end of the day, they're the people that make you money. Right. Will training with Axia really help me? Obviously, I'm going to say yes. Because at the end of the day, a lot of the training that we do has been sort of put together by me as a combination. You know, we don't just base everything off what I do and what I say. You know, it's not my ideas, and what I'd never want is new traders at Axia to be essentially a clone of me. What you want is people to understand different ways of doing things, different styles, different approaches. So yes, it will help, but let's again be realistic about these types of things. The thing that attracts people to trading is the fact that you can very quickly start trading. Yeah, at the end of the day, if you've got a computer, a platform, and a mouse, you are a trader. This is not like most other performance sports. So if I use the example of, let's say, football, in your progress in becoming a professional footballer, if you want to play Premier League, you know, you want to become the next Harry Kane, you're going to have to come up through the lower leagues, which means you progressively get better by competing against progressively better opponents. This filters people out at different stages along the way. So ask yourself, well, how many traders actually make it? Realistically, of all of the retail traders out there, everyone who wants to be a trader, realistically, I'm going for less than 1%. In fact, I'm going less than 1/10%. And that might even be lower than that. And the reason that you have that high failure rate is because people jump in straight into the Premier League and assume that they're going to be a professional footballer, and you're not. So yes, our training will help because the traders we've got are the Premier League. So what we're teaching people is essentially what it takes to be there. You know, you're trying to increase people's chances of making it, trying to increase your probabilities, right? Put it this way. I'm obviously too old now, but when I was younger, I was an all right footballer. Not great. I was all right. Now, if I spent every day training at Spurs or Arsenal, I would have learned a lot from Arsenal when I was younger. If I spent every day learning there, my chance of being a Premier League footballer would have gone way up. It still wouldn't have been high, but it's about giving people a better chance. You know, of all of the very low chance that people have, our view is we can give people the best possible chance. You know, increase that 0.1% chance of you being professional up to 10% chance. Yeah, there's no point in me lying and saying everybody we train is going to start being a trader. You've got to be honest about these things. But what we're trying to do is say to someone, my point here being that, you know, you've got to learn from the people who genuinely do this, who make money on this every day, if you want to actually compete with them. Otherwise, you can compete with them with little knowledge and you're almost inevitably then going to fail. So yes, it can help.